All right. Wow. Some of you survived all the way to the end. I, I, I really have to digest this. I think one of the things that I learned for myself, and I talked about it in my opening remarks, was that at the end of the day, if this work is not changing you internally, then at least for me, I pose, why do it at all? Because sometimes I would rather, just ring groceries at Trader Joe's. It feels really good because at least it's very tactile. Sometimes this work could be too mental. So the practice for me is the exchanges that I have with each and every single person that I meet, and how that actually challenges me, my ideas about particular qualities of, whether I am envious of someone because I'm competing to be them, or whether I am aggressive because I'm too attached to a particular result. And so the art practice and the art world really is more of an internal practice for me. And I'm very finally really sharing that openly. And it took me a long time to trust that. Trust that there's space in a world that can be very mental and intellectual, and very lost in the linguistics and the seduction and the semantics of language, which is so beautiful. And I'm constantly seduced by it, and we should be. Words have spells and meaning. But I think the thing that Christopher Ho also brought up is the point of responsibility. How are we going to be responsible for what we put out, whether it's words or images or language? How are we going to be responsible for it for ourselves? But then how are we going to be responsible for it for the world? Because we're actually contributing something, and it's in two forms, and or multi-forms, and I only, have chosen to call it either anthropic or orderly. And I choose to constantly move from anthropic because it's very easy to go and be in an anthropic space. Look at your closet, you clean it up, and the next day it's a mess. And to order, because order is really difficult. And order is not something that you can do only by ordering your there's not a physical manifestation only. There's also order, internal order. And that's something that I've been practicing, and each and every single person who was invited and in one way or another to participate really challenged me internally. I had to really deal with my fears, deal with my competition, deal with trust, confidence, faith, all those things that we can take very much for granted because we're so attached to making something happen. And I made a promise for myself that I am going to have this field meeting be something that really contributes, and I'm very conscious of how it also that I take it all in, and that I flourish with it, I grow with it. And so we don't have time for the ceremony, which I was going to do, but I'm going to ask you to imagine that you're all holding an invisible yarn, which is very visible and it's tangible, and it's going around the room, and each of you are holding this yarn, and put whatever you want out there because it's magical on this yarn, and make a wish, whatever you want for yourself that you've had a challenge with having, and also make the wish of having everyone else get whatever they want, whoever's in this room and whoever participated in field meeting, and maybe also the rest of the world, because we can do this, and this is not all just happening randomly we can make things actually happen. So with that, I invite you to leave a lot of room for questions and a lot of room for also criticism of what worked and what didn't work. Feel free to send us emails, images, text, anything, any form of response that you'd like to make towards this. As you saw from Mito Sen's piece, I'm very open to, being made fun of and ridiculed and criticized, because again, I'm not perfect. I'm just trying something on, and I'm so incredibly shocked still that so many of you have come along to play in such a vulnerable and such impeccable way, really putting yourself, heart and soul and body and mind into giving and being who you are at field meeting. I as much as I've been saying that this is what I want to do, a part of me doesn't believe it, and that's the part that I've been working on. And here you are, you've proved to me that what I have intuitively known is true. So thank you so much, and I hope that everything you did comes back to you 5 folds or maybe even more. Thanks. I want to thank all the institutions that have supported and sent presenters here. I want to thank the Asia Society for hosting today, for being generous. I want also to thank my incredible team of amazing young interns who are not really interns. They're professionals in the making that have allowed themselves to be guided by me, and I'm really touched by what they've been able to help me go to another level with this meeting. And I'm sure I'm thanking so many other people, but please know that I'm really full of gratitude for every single person who have contributed, and for you who have come out and chosen to be with us, committed to be receiving this, and committed to just be open to making it land on you. I really appreciate that. Thank you.